welcome to Automotive Agile PEP 2017. It's my pleasure to be here with Philipp Diebold.
Thanks.
Yeah, thank you for your time, for the interview. Maybe to start with, would you like to introduce yourself?
My name is Philipp Diebold. I'm working at the Fraunhofer Institute for Experimental Software Engineering, so dealing a lot with research aspects as well as applying those things in practice. And especially I'm working as a project manager regarding agile development processes. And we are working a lot in the embedded domains, and this is the reason why we are here, or I'm here, due to the fact that automotive is probably the main dominating embedded industry in Germany.
What does agile mean to you?
A good mixture of having some really structured processes, procedure, techniques like Scrum, and having the specific rules, roles, and those things within Scrum. But on the other hand, we already have these real strong cultural mindset, like saying, okay, we want to have transparency, we need to involve the customer, and I believe Agile is both. It's a mixture of getting those techniques and using those techniques, and with those techniques starting with a cultural journey to get really to these transparency and those aspects which is mentioned also in the Agile Manifesto.
You're also going to hold a closing keynote today.
Yes.
On the transition to him being more agile from an automotive company.
Yeah.
Could you tell us a bit more what the session is going to be about?
So initially the idea was to say, okay, it's not about the agile transition, it's about how can we perform the agile transition in an agile way. That's why it's called Agile Transition Agile. Mm-hmm. And the idea is that we started to creating two teams, which was a transition team as well as a development team. And within the transition team, we started to create different things, like from these technical aspects as well as from the cultural aspects, and bring them slightly step by step to the development team, because we experienced that having these small step evolutionary approach to come to agility is better than just going with a big bang revolution and just starting with a Scrum or Safe or whatever approach.
Why do many companies struggle with implementing those methodologies? Do you think the way would be like to go step by step and not all in?
So I believe that the all in is kind of probably the wrong approach, which might be the struggling. On the other hand, since we are talking about automotive, we have the problem that we are working in different contexts and settings than, for example, the information systems. We have standards like the automotive SPICE, the ISO 26262, working in distributed domains, having the suppliers and needing to work with them together and those stuff. And based on that context issues, from my point of view, you all the time need to adapt your type of agility. Might be a Scrum, might be the specific practices, all of them or parts of them need to be adapted. And if you're just going with a big bang, the adaptation might be quite hard because you do not recognize where you need to adapt. If you are starting this incremental or evolutionary way of introducing the agile aspects, not only the technical ones but also the cultural ones, it's more easier to adapt those.
Do you also feel like that OEMs and tier ones have a different understanding of the agility than other industries?
This is quite a tricky question, just covering OEMs and tier ones as one thing. So since an OEM is that large with having that many different departments and those stuff, I would say in general they are keeping it quite similar. Both kind of companies, but if you look into more detail into the different departments, for example, looking for sales departments or marketing departments, they might see it totally different. And for example, having a tier one who needs to do a project with an OEM and therefore needs to work with their sales or purchasing department, this is one of the hard aspects. So how to deal with agile contracts and those stuff. So from that point of view, it's harder to see how they are collaborating. If it's only about the engineering part, I would say they are rather on the same level of talking about agility, but mainly these external interfaces are facing a lot. So this is also a good point to mention. We are doing a lot of research, especially regarding how agility fits into a non-agile environment and what are the interfaces to these non-agile environments where sometimes marketing, purchasing and sales comes into play and forces us to change something within the agility or agile world.
What is the most thing that interests you at this conference?
Different views. So on the first hand, it's getting practitioners' problems, see what's happening out there. So due to the fact being an applied research institute, of course we are looking for their problems and seeing whether we can solve them, and not only solving them for one, which might be the case for consulting companies, but seeing how we can abstract from that and building up new methods, processes, tools, whatever, that support other companies as well to spread these things. On the other hand, you might have seen that we have also some kind of data collection, which we are doing all over the world with different conferences, and we wanted to elicit the experiences of the people performing Agile, how the different small pieces like daily stand-up or pair programming work or behave based on transparency, culture, product quality, and those aspects.
What is your impression of the Automotive Agile PEP so far?
So I believe there were quite good talks this morning, which we had, and I believe it's a good mixture. So we have some guys from the engineering aspect, but we had also some people from more business perspective at our table, and I believe having this good mixture is quite a good thing. And another thing, I was happy to see that one guy from the university giving the opening keynote and someone from Fraunhofer, so being applied research, is giving the closing keynote on the first day, which means bringing also the more research aspects together with the practitioners is, from my point of view, also a good thing to do.
I wish you a nice end of the day, Philipp, and
thank you.
Thank you for the interview.
Thanks, and hope to see you again next year.
Yeah, hope so too.